Ethan Cade stepped out of the small shuttle and onto the frozen surface of Frostralis 9. The planet stretched before him like a sea of white, icy plains and jagged, shimmering mountains. A cold wind howled around him, biting through his standard-issue spacesuit. He had expected challenging conditions, but this storm was far stronger than any he had prepared for. His mission was simple: collect samples, study the planet's ecosystem, and report back to the Council. But now, with his suit sensors flashing warnings and the temperature dropping dangerously, he realized his mission might end before it even began. Ethan struggled to keep his footing as the ice beneath him cracked and shifted. Every step felt heavier than the last. His breath fogged in the air and a shiver ran through him despite the insulated suit. Then suddenly his suit's thermal regulator failed. The warning lights blinked furiously and he felt the cold seep through. Panic threatened to rise, but Ethan forced himself to think. He needed shelter, fast. Through the blizzard, he noticed movement. At first, he thought it was a trick of the storm, a shifting shadow in the icy fog. But as he squinted, a figure emerged. She was unlike any being he had ever seen. Her skin shimmered with a soft glow, reflecting the snow around her, and she moved with an elegance that seemed to defy the harsh wind. She raised a hand, and Ethan, despite his fear, felt an unusual calm wash over him. You can help me," he called, his voice trembling. The alien woman smiled. "Yes," she said, her voice soft and musical. "Follow me. You will not be cold." Ethan hesitated, trusting an alien stranger on an unknown planet, especially when his suit was failing, seemed reckless. But the cold was relentless, and curiosity, the same force that had brought him to the stars, pushed him forward. He took a deep breath and followed her. The figure led him through a series of ice tunnels carved naturally into the mountains. As they moved deeper, Ethan noticed the walls glowing faintly with colors he had no name for. Crystals embedded in the ice emitted a gentle light, and steam rose from hidden thermal vents, creating a warm mist. It was unlike any natural formation he had ever studied. What are you?" Ethan asked, his teeth chattering despite his growing warmth. "I am Lyra," she said simply. "I belong to the Frostborn. We are the keepers of heat on this planet. You humans, you have warmth inside you, but it is small. I can help it grow." Ethan frowned. "Inside me? I don't understand." Lyra extended her hands and a gentle golden light flowed from her fingertips. Ethan felt a warmth spreading over his skin, more comforting than any heater or suit could provide. His shivering slowed and the panic in his mind eased. How is this possible?" he asked, amazed. "Your species is brave," she said. "You face cold, danger, and unknown worlds, and yet you endure. That courage allows me to share warmth. It is a gift. Not magic, only life." Ethan followed her deeper into the tunnel, noticing the plants that seemed to glow faintly in the low light. Strange flowers curled in the cold, releasing tiny bursts of heat that melted the frost around them. Tiny creatures, almost invisible in the mist, moved with quick precision, avoiding Ethan's boots. Every step revealed more wonders, and Ethan's scientist mind raced to take notes and make observations. They reached a cavern where a small pool of water steamed gently. The warmth here was almost overwhelming, yet pleasant, like the gentle sun on a spring morning. Lyra knelt beside the pool and gestured for Ethan to sit. "You will need to rest," she said. "Your body fights the cold. You have survived, but you are weak. Let the warmth flow." Ethan hesitated, then sank onto the smooth, warm rock. He felt the fatigue of his failed suit and the harsh storm outside begin to fade. His mind, always alert and calculating, started to relax for the first time in hours. As they sat, Ethan tried to understand Lyra's warmth. It wasn't just heat. It seemed to interact with his body in a subtle way. He felt energy where there had been numbness, a lightness where there had been fear. "Is this safe?" he asked. Lyra smiled. "Yes, your species will adapt. You humans are stronger than you know. My warmth awakens what is already inside you." The human leaned back and looked at her closely. Her eyes reflected the light of the crystals, and he felt a strange connection, as if she could see the curiosity and fear coexisting in his mind. Despite everything, he felt trust, a rare feeling on a world so alien and hostile. You are incredible," he admitted. "I have never seen anything like this." "And you," she replied softly, "have survived what most would not. You are remarkable too." For hours they stayed in the cavern. Ethan examined the glowing plants, the steaming waters, and the tiny creatures, documenting everything in his portable pad. He asked questions about Lyra's people and the planet, learning that the Frostborn had evolved to survive extreme cold through natural energy fields. Their bodies radiated heat naturally, and they could share it with other life forms. The more he learned, the more Ethan realized how limited human technology was in comparison. Yet he also felt a spark of pride. Humans, despite their biological limits, had reached the stars and dared to explore worlds no one had touched before. They adapted in ways that machines and suits could not always match. That spark, that drive to survive and explore, seemed to resonate with Lyra's gift. As night fell over Frustralis 9, Ethan realized he had forgotten about the storm outside. His body, once shivering and exhausted, now felt invigorated. The warmth from Lyra flowed through him, and he sensed something awakening, something he could not yet name. "Tomorrow," Lyra said, "you will see more. You will understand more. The cold is strong here, but your spirit is stronger." Ethan nodded, feeling a mixture of awe and determination. He had come to Frustralis 9 expecting challenges, but he had not expected to encounter a being who could teach him not just survival, but potential. As he closed his eyes, the warmth of Lyra's presence lingered, and he knew that this was only the beginning of an extraordinary journey. Outside, the storm continued, but inside the cavern, humanity's courage had found a place to grow. Ethan, once a single explorer lost in a frozen world, now felt connected to life, to warmth, and to the unknown possibilities that awaited him. Ethan woke to a soft golden light streaming through the cavern entrance. Lyra was already there, her glow brighter than before, as if the morning sun itself had taken form. The air around her shimmered with warmth, and for the first time, Ethan noticed how calm and alive he felt. The cold outside no longer threatened him. Somehow the warmth Lyra had shared was still inside him, flowing through every part of his body. "You slept well," Lyra said with a gentle smile. "Good. Today you will learn more." Ethan stretched, feeling strength he didn't expect. I feel different, stronger, warm, not just from you, but inside me," Lyra nodded. "The Frostborn gift warmth. But you, human, have a courage and energy of your own. You will learn to use it." For the next few hours, Lyra guided Ethan through the glowing caves of Frustralis 9. The tunnels twisted and turned into chambers filled with thermal vents and bioluminescent plants. Strange creatures scuttled around, their bodies glowing faintly as they moved. Ethan could hardly contain his fascination. Every step revealed a part of the planet that no human had ever seen. "Watch," Lyra instructed as she touched the icy wall. Heat spread from her hands, melting the ice instantly. "Your body can do something similar. Focus on the warmth I shared. Let it move with you." Ethan closed his eyes and concentrated. At first, nothing happened. Then he felt a tiny spark, like a candle flickering to life inside his chest. He extended his hands, imagining the cold ice warming. Slowly, he felt heat spreading through his fingers, melting the frost just like Lyra had done. His eyes opened wide in shock. I did it," he whispered. "I really did it." Lyra's smile widened. "Yes, humans have untapped potential. You endure, adapt, and survive. That is your strength." Ethan spent the day practicing, guided by Lyra. He discovered that by focusing his thoughts and energy, he could control his own body heat and influence the environment around him. Tiny sparks of warmth radiated from his hands, melting ice and thawing frozen pools of water. He felt exhilarated. Humans were fragile compared to the Frostborn, but their spirit, their determination, was extraordinary. As they explored deeper into the cavern system, a low rumble shook the tunnels. Ethan and Lyra froze. "What is that?" Ethan asked. Lyra's expression grew serious. "An ice quake. Frustralis 9 moves beneath its surface. The tunnels may collapse." Without hesitation, Ethan followed her through the twisting corridors. The ground trembled beneath their feet. Crystals cracked and fell, sending shards clattering into the icy pools. Dust and frost filled the air. Lyra's glow intensified, and she held out her hands, sending a wave of warmth to steady the icy walls. But even she could not hold them forever. Ethan's heart pounded. "We need to get out," he shouted over the rumble. He focused on the warmth inside him, willing it to spread faster, stronger. The spark in his chest flared, and he felt heat surge through his hands and arms. With concentration, he sent it toward the walls, slowing the collapse just enough for them to pass. Together, they reached a larger cavern, one that opened onto the planet's frozen plains. The quake had sealed some paths behind them, but the open area was safe. Ethan gasped as he looked around. Frost crystals glittered like diamonds in the sunlight, and strange thermal streams flowed over the ice. The beauty of the world even in danger was breathtaking. "You did well," Lyra said. "Your courage, your human spirit. It saved us." Ethan felt a surge of pride. Humans were not the strongest, nor the fastest, nor the most naturally adapted to cold. But they had something else: curiosity, determination, and the ability to rise to any challenge. He realized that was why he had survived Frustralis 9's storm when so many others might not have. As the day passed, Lyra taught Ethan more about her people and their planet. She showed him how the Frostborn could share warmth with each other, heal minor injuries, and even influence the environment. Ethan documented everything carefully, understanding that humans could learn from this in ways that technology alone could never achieve. By evening, the temperature began dropping again. The golden light around Lyra glowed stronger, and Ethan felt the warmth inside him remain steady. They stopped at a steaming pool where Lyra gestured for him to sit. "Rest now," she said. "Tomorrow you will begin to explore the planet fully." "You are ready." Ethan nodded, feeling the energy inside him grow stronger. "I never imagined humans could do this, survive like this, adapt like this." Lyra's smile was gentle. "You have always had it. You just needed to awaken it. Humans are brave. You endure, explore, and create. That is your power." As night fell over Frustralis 9, Ethan looked at the icy horizon. He knew he could survive here, and not just survive, he could thrive. The warmth in him was no longer just Lyra's gift. It was his own. It flowed through him like a river of fire in the ice. For the first time on the planet, Ethan felt truly at home. He realized that humanity's greatest strength was their spirit, their courage to face the unknown, their determination to survive, and their curiosity to learn and grow. On this distant frozen world, humans were not weak. They were extraordinary. Ethan turned to Lyra. "Thank you. I don't know how to repay you." She shook her head. "You repay me by living, by learning, by showing the universe what humans can do. That is enough." He smiled, feeling warmth in more ways than one. Humanity had reached the stars, and now he understood why. Their strength was not in armor, machines, or even biology alone. It was in their spirit, their courage, and their refusal to give up no matter the odds. As he looked toward the distant mountains, Ethan felt a spark of excitement. There were more challenges ahead on Frustralis 9, more discoveries, more dangers, but now he was ready. Humans could face anything. He had felt it in the cold, survived it with courage, and awakened it within himself. The night air was cold, but Ethan did not shiver. He walked beside Lyra, feeling the warmth radiate not just from her, but from within himself. The adventure was far from over, but he knew one thing for certain. Humans were remarkable, and no challenge in the universe could stop them. And on Frustralis 9, under alien stars, humanity had shown its first spark of triumph.